Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. Today we are diving deep into Kyla Yu's powerful and honestly often painful memoir, Fetishized, a reckoning with yellow fever, feminism, and beauty. Our mission here isn't just, a simple summary. We want to trace her exact journey chronologically.
Yeah, absolutely. From feeling invisible as a kid through her modeling and rock star days.
Right, and then finally confronting this whole societal fetish that shaped and nearly destroyed her life.
It's a really compelling look at how external pressures, specifically what people call romantic Orientalism, can force Asian women into this impossible choice.
What choice is that exactly?
Well, between being completely ignored, basically obscurity, or becoming this hypersexualized public figure.
It sounds like there's no middle ground.
Pretty much. And we've pulled out some really specific details from the book, some surprising facts that really show how systemic this all is.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting where it often begins, childhood. She talks about feeling profoundly invisible, unlovable even.
And she uses this incredible metaphor, the Little Mermaid.
Oh, right, but not the Disney version.
No, definitely not. The original Hans Christian Andersen one, which is, well, pretty gruesome.
I remember that being much darker.
Totally. The mermaid suffers excruciating pain, loses her voice entirely, and in the end, she faces oblivion, basically turns to sea foam just for a shot at being loved by the prince.
Wow. So the price of being loved is self-annihilation, losing your voice.
Exactly. And that theme, losing your voice to be loved, becomes central to her early life. She traces a lot of that feeling of invisibility back to her father.
The high expectations Asian dad trope, but she puts a twist on it.
Yeah, she says he was kind of like that meme, but without the actual expectations. It was more like just silent dismissal, indifference.
That sounds almost worse in a way.
It seems like it was devastating for her. She describes trying so hard to impress him, like planning this whole junior high performance just for him.
What happened?
Just walked out.
Yeah.
Midway through, and apparently never even mentioned it afterwards.
Oof. That's harsh.
The message she got was crystal clear.
Yeah.
She was dismissible. Easily erased, as she puts it.
Okay, so that feeling, being easily erased, that sets the stage for her teenage years.
Right, and that's when she starts internalizing these harmful cultural ideas about Asian women.
Yeah.
Especially the geisha archetype.
From Memoirs of a Geisha and similar things.
Exactly. She talks about how influential those kinds of portrayals were, selling this fantasy of romantic Orientalism, Asian women as delicate, submissive, always available.
And didn't you mention something about Roger Ebert's take on that?
Yes.
Ooh.
That was such a striking point she included. Ebert apparently pointed out that if Memoirs was about white women, considering the main character was basically sold into servitude at 9,
It would be seen completely differently.
it'd be called a child prostitution story, no question. The whole romantic angle only really works because of the race involved. It just sanitizes it.
That really flips the script on how we see that narrative.
Totally. And she connects this idea directly to her own high school life. There's this popular girl, Vanessa.
The Queen Bee.
Yeah, who acted like a sort of casual mama-san, arranging dates for her friends.
Seriously, in high school?
Yep. Gaining status by, as the author puts it, offering her friends up as though they were playthings.
Yeah.
It taught Kyla that her value was basically transactional, all about male approval.
So, okay, years of feeling invisible, learning her worth is transactional. She reaches a breaking point.
Pretty much. She decides if she can't be seen for who she is, she'll become something impossible not to see. A visual commodity.
And that brings us to part 2. This radical transformation. She gets a new idol.
Right. Pinup model Sung-Hai Lee, known for her butterfly tattoo, the Korean butterfly.
The butterfly. Metamorphosis, but also fragile. Easily pinned.
Exactly. That symbolism is potent.
Right.
But the real catalyst for the transformation was this moment of just awful public humiliation.
What happened?
She confessed a crush on this popular guy, Steven, a rocker type.
And he didn't take it well.
He openly mocked her. Shouted across the classroom loud enough for everyone, "Ew, that dog is in love with me."
Oh my God, that's just brutal.
Absolutely brutal. And for her, that was it, the point of no return. It cemented this belief that women, like me, Asian women who weren't already hypersexualized, couldn't be seen as beautiful, desirable.
So she decided to change how she looked, drastically.
Aggressively pursued those Western beauty ideals. First, breast implants, C-cups, to feel like an equal rival, she says.
And then the eye surgery.
Yes, double eyelid surgery, blepharoplasty, to make her eyes look wider, more Western.
And this is where that shocking historical detail comes in, right? About the surgery's origins.
It really is one of the most jaw-dropping parts of the book. We tend to think of cosmetic surgery as purely personal choice, but she digs into its history.
What did she find?
It's disturbing. The procedure was largely popularized by an American military surgeon, Dr. Millard, back in the 1950s. He was experimenting in Seoul.
Experimenting on who?
Specifically, his goal was to make Korean sex workers who serviced American GIs look more, well, attractive and acceptable to them.
Yeah.
More assimilable.
Wait, so the surgery was developed to make Asian women more palatable for Western men.
That seems to be the specific context where it gained traction. So her attempt to gain agency and beauty involved physically altering herself, using a technique rooted in essentially colonial power dynamics and military objectification.
The irony is just staggering, trying to escape invisibility using a tool designed for objectification.
It's heartbreakingly ironic. And this pursuit of visibility, this new hyper-visible identity, led her down an even darker path.
This is the test shoot incident.
Yes. What she thought was a casting shoot for pinup modeling turned out to be, well, something else entirely. A gonzo-style porn set. She describes being coerced into sexual acts.
How does she explain her reaction? It sounds terrifying.
She talks about it through the lens of trauma psychology, which is crucial. Blacking out, experiencing deep dissociation, like she wasn't even there.
A survival mechanism.
Absolutely. Given the power imbalance, she describes falling into the fawn response, basically. Placating the aggressor to try and survive the situation, giving them what they want to make it stop.
That's incredibly difficult to read about. And then the aftermath.
Made it worse. The video was released. People she knew, friends, watched it. And instead of support, she faced judgment, rejection.
What did they say?
She recounts people dismissing it, saying things like, "It's not like you were raped," because there wasn't overt physical violence captured on camera, just total misunderstanding of coercion and trauma.
That level of gaslighting after that experience?
It was devastating. And that led directly into part 3 of her life. This desperate need to escape, to find oblivion.
Right, the rave scene, drugs.
Immediately, she just sank into it. Heavy drug abuse, ecstasy, cocaine, ketamine. She specifically mentions seeking annihilation in a K-hole.
Trying to numb the pain.
Exactly. She realizes later that this drug-fueled dissociation was her subconscious trying to shield her from the constant psychic pain, the trauma, the public shame.
A tragic coping mechanism. Seeking darkness inside to escape the pain outside.
And all this was happening while she was also trying to launch a music career, which had its own set of issues.
She tried the nice girl approach first, didn't she?
Yep. Her debut album featured a saccharine breakup song. Wholesome, innocent.
And the market reaction.
Crickets. Zero traction, she says. Absolutely nothing.
But then she changed tactics.
She pivoted hard. Released a song called Candy-Coated Sugar Sex. Very direct. Unabashedly about sex.
Oh, that one.
Blew up. Millions of plays on MySpace almost overnight. It was this stark, painful proof for her.
Proof of what?
That the hypersexualized Asian stereotype was basically her only route to mainstream attention at that time. Wholesomeness didn't sell, sex did, but only within that specific fetishized box.
So what did she do? Lean into it?
She tried to control it, maybe.
Uh-huh.
She co-founded an all-Asian female rock band, Nylon Pink. She explicitly hoped it would be a way to escape the sexy Asian girl trope through music. Use the rock genre's power.
Did it work? Could they escape it?
Well, this is where it gets really tricky.
Yeah.
Even while trying to rebel, they got pulled back in. The band's aesthetic. She described it as edgy, but it still leaned heavily into that Lolita look.
How did she describe it?
Hello Kitty on acid. That was her phrase. Trying to be punk, but still cute, maybe.
And who did that attract?
Predictably, it drew the exact audience they were trying, perhaps subconsciously, to avoid. Lots of older white male fans, really obsessive, drawn to that specific fetishized image.
It sounds like they were trapped, even in their own band.
That tension came to a head with a music video shoot for their song, One by One.
What was the concept?
The concept required Kyla to lie naked on a table, covered only by sushi, the practice known as nutamori, body sushi.
Wow, that's incredibly objectifying, literally consumable.
Right. The band refused. They drew a line.
Good for them. But what happened with the video?
This is the kicker. The producer didn't just change the concept, he replaced the entire band.
Replace them with who?
With a completely different white band. And the ultimate irony, the new band just hired an outside model to do the sushi scene.
So it wasn't even about Nylon Pink's music or talent at all?
Exactly. It proved that for the people in charge, the idea of the consumable Asian woman's body was the product. The band itself was interchangeable.
That must have been incredibly demoralizing. Success, but no real control.
Absolutely. And that pressure, the toxicity of maintaining that image, it took a toll on everyone involved.
You mentioned her bandmate, Kat Lee.
Yes, her story is tragic. Her motto was apparently, live hard, die pretty. Kyla describes her pushing everyone away before eventually dying from alcohol-related liver cirrhosis.
That's so sad. Was that a wake-up call for Kyla?
It seems like it was a huge one. It prompted her to really commit to sobriety and start looking inward, focusing on healing rather than performing.
But the final major turning point, the real reckoning, came later.
Much later, 2021, the Atlanta spa shootings.
How did that connect for her?
That tragedy forced her to confront her own role, to consider how, by making the Asian fetish mainstream, maybe even palatable through her music and image.
She might have inadvertently contributed.
Yeah, contributed to the culture that leads to violence against Asian women by normalizing their objectification.
That's a heavy burden to carry.
Immense. And she points out something crucial about the Atlanta shooter. He saw the women not as people, but as temptation he needed to eliminate.
Turning women into objects makes them disposable. It has deadly consequences.
Precisely. That realization fueled her path to recovery. Therapy, sobriety, and finding peace in a really interesting way.
How so?
Through freediving.
Freediving! Like holding your breath underwater. Why that?
She explains it wasn't about competition. It was about appreciating her body differently. Not as an object for others, but as a functional vessel, capable of finding this quiet, serene space underwater.
Like washing away the shame.
Exactly. Connecting with silence, appreciating her body for what it could do, not how it looked. Washing away years of using it for external validation.
That sounds incredibly healing.
And that journey leads her to shed the persona, the alter ego, Kyla Yu, and embrace her birth name, Elaine Yang, fusing those parts of herself.
Does she feel different now?
She writes that she feels more beautiful in my 40s than ever, but it's a beauty rooted in self-acceptance, not the male gaze.
So looking back at our whole story, what's the big takeaway?
I mean, the core theme is just how systematically this fetish erases the actual personhood of Asian women. It forces this awful binary choice.
Invisibility or hypersexualized visibility.
Right. There's often no room for just being a person.
Yeah.
Smart, talented, flawed, whatever. You're either ignored or you're the stereotype.
It's a powerful story of reclaiming agency, though, fighting back against that stereotype.
Definitely. And she does acknowledge things might be changing. Younger Asian women today have different role models, like maybe Blackpink, globally successful, powerful, maybe less confined by those old tropes.
That does offer some hope.
It does. But it also leaves us with a question, doesn't it? For you, listening, Kyla Yu internalized so many narratives fed to her by society.
What narratives are we internalizing?
Yes, exactly. What subtle cultural or social scripts are you buying into, maybe without even realizing it? Especially around validation, where do you seek it? Externally or internally? It's something to think about.
A really provocative thought to end on. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.